How is it possible that a multi-billion-dollar company starts with two men, an idea, and a garage full of cobwebs? This company has changed the tech world and the way we think about technology forever. If you haven't figured out by now, I'm talking about Apple, one of the most successful companies in the entire world and history. Apple was founded in 1976 by Steve Wozniak, Ronald Wayne, and Steve Jobs in Cupertino, California. Steve Wozniak was fascinated by computers, and Steve Jobs had a dream to turn these computers to an everyday device for personal use. Computers were known to be complicated and intimidating, as they were for many generations before the millennials. This leads to the reason why Steve Jobs decided to name Apple Apple. This made it more friendly to everyday users. Apple I was the first computer with key features such as the use of TV as a display where others had no display at all. Apple saw first success with Apple II, which displayed a new interface. The device was graphics. The difference was the graphics in the device. Later in 1982 came the first Macintosh, which was not successful and led to Steve Jobs being fired. After Apple struggled with CEOs of the company, Apple was predicted 2 months until they went out of business. They decided to give Steve Jobs another chance. He had a brilliant idea to make a partnership with Bill Gates and Microsoft. Bill Gates gave Steve Jobs money because Windows was getting in trouble for becoming a monopoly. Apple needed the money to advance in research and development for new products. This led to the first iPod being made in 2001 and the first iPhone in 2007. Apple strongly believes in research development. Apple believes that this is essential for a company's long-term survival. Apple strongly believes in product differentiation in design and functionality. Apple focuses very much on building and expanding its third-party digital content and applications through the iTunes Store. Other business strategies Apple has adapted is capabilities of products and services. Apple creates an ecosystem in their products so that it is more functional for other Apple users. This can be seen in iMessage and how many tools are offered in iMessage versus other phone devices. Apple can be classified as vertical integration because the company has advanced expertise in software, hardware, and services at the same time. This allows Apple to have a closed ecosystem that makes people buy other Apple products as accessory because it is more compatible with their products. Apple is one of the 38 companies to return on the Fortune 500 companies. In millions, Apple has brought in close to 215 million this year, approaching to be the first trillion-dollar company. Their revenue has changed negatively by 7.7% since 2016. However, Apple shares have jumped 32%, increasing their market cap from 573 billion to 800 billion. Porter's forces and competitive strategies. The next slide is about Michael Porter's competitive forces and strategies that Apple uses in the business world. With Apple being one of the most valuable companies in the world, they face many competitive forces that attempt to dethrone Apple. But their brand name is just way too valuable, and Apple's strategies is strong and innovative. Some of their forces that Apple face differ strong forces to moderate force, then finally weak forces. Apple's strong forces are high aggression of firms and low switching costs. A moderate force is the high availability of substitutes. Finally, weak forces or forces that are not so concerned about are a number of suppliers and high overall supply. Apple fights these forces with marketing strategies and research and development. With great marketing, it builds a strong customer base that stay loyal to the brand. They keep announcements secret and so that they play off human curiosity to keep customer engaged. Business enterprise systems. Supply chain management. How Apple has handled their inventory is what led them to success. Apple purchases components and materials from various suppliers and ships it to the assembling plant in China. Products are then shipped directly to customers. Well, how does it reach retail stores, you may ask? Products are then shipped from Elk Grove, California, where the warehouse call center is. They also have great relationship management. Apple is now offering 24/7 response for them to handle their customer service issues. They are looking to use social media for people to ask questions about problems and show the world how quickly they solve them. This grants Apple a huge advantage in the world as people are more impatient than ever. iOS is Apple's mobile operating system created strictly for Apple products hardware. This operating system exists on iPhone, iPads, iPad Touch, and more. iOS user interface is developed around multi-touch gestures. This gives users direct manipulation of the device. The gestures are touch, swipe, and voice. This technology other devices have tried to implement but seem not to be as popular as Apple. Social media. Oddly enough, Apple does not actively use social media. They have very few official accounts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, but barely any content is on them. These social media accounts are not using the accounts to further advertise about their products or future customer knowledge on their products. In 2016, Apple quietly opened a Twitter for Apple support. However, the account is still not tweeted on. The Twitter customer support focuses on customer experience. More recently on social media, there are sponsored advertisements on platforms such as Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. Yet these are not posts from official accounts that are paid sponsored advertisements. This tactic keeps customers wondering and interested. It keeps the attention on their brand making, and masses wonder why such a big brand has no social media. This is also a marketing developed in order, again, to play off human curiosity, especially for sponsored paid advertisements that ensures that everyone else sees their new product instead of posting it on official accounts that everyone might or might not follow. Organizational structures. Apple uses hierarchical structure developed by Steve Jobs. This helps ensure his innovative ideas of a clear business. In 2011, Tim Cook placed certain modifications to the organizational structure. He embraced the decentralization of the decision making to a certain extent in order to encourage innovation at various levels. Product based grouping. Each product with Apple, such as iPhones and iPads, are a result of product based group. Apple board of directors consists of 8 members who plan and gather data about competitors and relay the information to middle managers. An organizational culture determines capability in supporting change. These can be changes in things such as strategy. Apple culture focuses on creativeness and innovation. This means that they encourage everyone in their company to be creative and open to new ideas. Conclusion, my suggestions to Apple is that they maintain competitive advantage. This is due to their product life, focus on service, focus on product quality, and maintain a closed ecosystem. I think that these 4 things in particular, has really helped Apple become one of the most successful company, and it's what we see a lot of other companies trying to implement. I think that their focus is on service and customer support is really what tips people off when buying Apple products. For me personally, I know that when I go into the Apple store, there's always someone to help me immediately with whatever product that I have. They also have a Genius bar where you can go up and ask them any questions. Um, as far as to gain competitive advantage, I think that what they can do a little bit better is to increase their product life. And the reason why I put this at for gaining competitive advantage is because I've noticed that a lot of people are starting to complain about the product life of their products, and that after 2 years, um, their iPhone or iMac is no longer working. Um, I also think that differentiation is um, really big for Apple to maintain their competitive advantage because be, due to this, they're able to keep Apple unique to different companies. Thank you for listening.